That's the real conversation that we need to be having
You
here.
promise to fight back against these disproportionately powerful special interest groups that are hurting the American people?
Look, I think you follow the money. Every time something goes wrong, follow the money. I support it. I continue to support. We've struggled with it, but public financing, we do this. We're constantly doing what we call clean money campaign. And we have to do more and better in that respect. But it's, the revolving door, special interest and lobbying, all the self-dealing with stocks portfolios. I think we need to have some version of term limits for Congress. I mean, we have to be a reform-oriented party. And that's something in the past we were defending the status quo.
Do you think he'll ever come on the stream? No, I don't think he'll come on the stream.
Trump took advantage of that.
Let's keep it $1.50. I don't think he's coming on the stream anytime
soon.
To
lean in. And when it comes to lobbying reform and it comes to these corporate special interests, we have to be much more aggressive. California's leading, but we still, with humility, have a lot more work to do, which I take responsibility.
I mean, he is a very good speaker. I mean, he looks like a television president, right? And he knows that he can play that role really well. But there's obviously a lot of stink associated with California that is directly in his hands. So it's not like saying, I'm going to be progressive. I'm going to be super progressive. I don't care about like big money donations and whatnot. That's becoming the 2026 primaries, or not 2026 primaries, sorry. Well, 2028 and 2026's version of I support Medicare for all. I'm Kamala Harris, and I support Medicare for all. If you recall, like a lot of establishment Democrats leaned into the more progressive talking points with no real investment or interest in following that agenda at all. And they very quickly cast that aside. I mean, Joe Biden came in, and once Joe Biden said, oh, public option or bust, everybody kind of dropped that whole like Medicare for all stuff. And then Joe Biden never actually followed through on public option anyway. He was just using that as a counter mechanism that liberals the educated establishment liberals leaned into, where they were like, yeah, that's right. The public option is a far better and far more popular provision than Medicare for all. So that's just like an ongoing issue, right? Ultimately, I think asking directly about like AIPAC and things like that are ways for these guys to get away with positioning themselves as though they're anti-Israel when they're not actually anti-Israel. So there is that as well. Newsom also signed AB 715, a vague California law that weaponizes anti-Semitism to silence criticisms of Israel in schools. The law deliberately avoids defining anti-Semitism while forcing districts to adopt the IHRA definition that conflates anti-Zionism with bigotry. Palestinians aren't mentioned once. Free speech takes a backseat to Israel. This was last year. That could be something interesting that I would ask about as well if given the opportunity. I shouldn't be laughing, but Gavin Newsom has never taken money from AIPAC, but he gave money to AIPAC as 1010, no notes. Yeah, I mean, it's so fun. Like, he only gave $500, but it is pretty funny that he did that. That's all I'm saying. Do you think Adam Mockler is aware of this? I mean, I think he's playing a role here, which is to be the guy who interviews these people, both from the furthest of the left all the way to the most establishment Democrats. So yes, for a guy like fucking Gavin Newsom, giving $500 to AIPAC is nothing. Guys, we're talking about Gavin Newsom. If you found out that a multimillionaire gave a $500 donation when most multimillionaires that give those kinds of donations to massive groups like AIPAC are dumping tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, yeah, that's like literally fucking pocket change. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because it very clearly doesn't mean anything. Like donating to AIPAC or getting money from AIPAC is like utterly irrelevant, especially if you are personally pro-Israel in your commentary. Like he literally denies that Israel committed a genocide. What the fuck are we talking about? Who gives a shit if he's saying no to AIPAC money? Hello? Like, I think someone who has ambitions of higher office in the Democratic Party in 2026 saying Israel's not committing a genocide when they want to run for president in 2028, to me, is a way higher. Okay, I'm unfollowing now, definitely. Okay. Bye, I guess. It's so funny. Motherfuckers won't understand the point I'm making, and then they'll be like, I'm actually angry at you through my own confusion, and this is precisely the reason why I'm leaving the fucking community. All right. Bye, I guess. Followed 2 days ago and then is now unfollowing. 1 day follower. In and out, baby. Account made a week ago, follows for 1 day and is like, I'm done with this. Who's with me, guys? Yeah. El Mencho dead next to the town when they're hosting the World Cup event in June. What the fuck? Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Let's start. We're starting here.
State with SB 107. I got all this in the back of my head because I've been thinking about this. I've been doing debates about this. SB 107 turned it into a sanctuary state for trans people. Just such a progressive state. What do you think Democrats should be fighting for? Beyond our opposition to Donald Trump, what should we define our party as? What should America be defined as in the Democrats' eyes?
That's a good question, by the way. That's a really good question from Adam Mockler. Okay. Not Mock Lib, but Mockler in that moment. Democratic, like, this is another question that I ask. Going from 350K viewers to 25K, you kind of fell off on. Not even kind of. I completely fell off. That is a question that I ask every fucking candidate as well. I go, Zoran had 5 definable policies. What are your 5 definable policies? Go. And I think it's a great way to put people on the spot, and it trains candidates into, it basically forces candidates into that position. I don't think Gavin Newsom's, I don't think this is after the interview that I conducted with Adam Mockler. But I don't think Gavin Newsom is going to have a very good answer for this, but let's see.
Well, look, in the spirit, many.
Like, I'll even admit, I think Kat Abel-Gazalik didn't have a very good answer on the spot for this either. I think all Democrats should have a good answer for this.
Parts, one body. California is the most diverse state in the world's most diverse democracy. 27% of my state is foreign born. We're a majority minority state. We practice pluralism. That's a word that a lot of people.
These are just fake unfollowers that demoralize. I see a lot on my YouTube. What do you mean?
People have to look up because it's a word no one talks about anymore. This notion that we're actively engaged in celebrating.
It's breaking news, so be careful on the misinfo. You earlier read out loud an untrue tweet. Wait, what? I didn't. What, are you talking about Mexico? I haven't even covered it yet. You ever experience imposter syndrome or completely delusional? I experience it all the time. It's probably my biggest weakness, as opposed to my biggest weakness, as opposed to like a lot of the other people in the commentary sphere, is that they are able to present themselves as like super confident when they very clearly don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Whereas even in areas where I am incredibly well read and spent a lifetime covering, spent a lifetime thinking about, spent a lifetime trying to understand and develop an opinion on, I still know that there are always going to be gaps in my knowledge, and I know that that's always in the back of my head. So I cannot fucking present things in as confident of a way as like a lot of people that are totally fucking stupid. And unfortunately, because the industry that I'm in requires you to be like super confident, and people respond to that positively, even if they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. There are a lot of people that get mad at me when I reveal that, like, you know, I'm an idiot. I say I'm an idiot all the time. People get upset at me. It's just unfortunate, but I'm just going to keep doing that no matter what, you know?
Not just tolerating that diversity. It's the reason Silicon Valley is Silicon Valley, not just the Central Valley. So we are the most abundant state as it relates to ag, $62.1 billion. We dominate in quantum and artificial intelligence and robotics and space, new technologies, R&D. We're the third largest capital in the world in R&D, research and development. And we're pushing out the boundaries of discovery and entrepreneurialism because of those values that are part of our DNA. And I think those are uniquely American values. I mean, you talk about, you know, American values being defined broadly, both.
God damn, bro. What are 5 policies that you would define your candidacy, potential candidacy as? What are 5 policies that you would potentially define or define your potential candidacy around? Democrats are not defined by policies that are easy to understand, that are digestible, that are palatable, that actually improve the lives of everyday Americans. What are the 5 policies that you would push for? He's like, oh, America is a nation of prosperity, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is exactly the reason why this shit sucks. Look, this isn't even me being unnecessarily rough on Gavin Newsom, as what like many liberal establishment Democrats think I am being. My criticism here is Democrats come across as offering empty platitudes, like talking about the vibes of America, what America means. It's just like, you just have to literally say exactly what you want to do for people. Okay? Unfortunately, for people who are very invested in these races this early on, they love this shit. So they reward it over and over again because they're like, no, you don't understand. This is actually fucking brilliant. And it's like, take yourself out of the equation for once, please. Okay? You are not the average voter, dumbass. You are not the average voter. The average voter hears this and goes, ugh, empty suit.
Parties. Ronald Reagan himself, his last speech, talked about Lady Liberty's torch, and he talked about the life force, his words, life force of newcomers to the United States of America. And so there's this ability to get the first round draft choices around the rest of the world, the best and the brightest, pushing out the boundaries of discovery, these conveyor belts for talent, research and innovation, patents, institutions of higher learning, constantly doing more and better as it relates to lowering costs across the spectrum by being more innovative and entrepreneurial. AI is going to define our future. Yep. Profound ways. I think that 2028 election is going to be an AI election every way, shape, or form. 2026 will be. But look, we have to paint a picture of a journey where everyone feels included and we can go on the journey together. It's the vernacular of the 60s.
How can I find out if my friend secretly hate watches you? He's really into Hasan snark and loves to tell me how stupid I am for listening to you. He thinks about you all day long. I don't know. I mean, who cares if they're into that sort of stuff? Like, why are you invested in it? You need to have opinions about the world beyond me or, even worse, one of my haters, okay? Like,
so we can solve for ignorance and poverty and disease, and this notion that we're all better off and we're all better off. And we have to be repairers at the same time of this breach. And we've got to sort of knit back that fabric of what defines the best of America that Trump daily is trying to vandalize. That's not the agenda. I'm not here promoting that agenda, but I think inherent in what I said are the values that I think define the best of the Democratic Party and racial justice, social justice, economic justice, but also pushing out the boundaries of discovery and opportunity.
That makes me very proud. Like an America that is based on innovation, but also diversity, being a melting pot that pushes forward technology. We want to remove a lot of these, my team and I have been talking about how we got to get these special interest groups, these disproportionately powerful interest groups and lobbyists out of politics so we can make real progress for the American people. I want to list off some special interest groups, and will you say yes or no if it'll
I think like I think when liberals hear Gavin Newsom say that stuff, especially liberals that are this invested this early on in elections, they love it. Okay? We're talking about high propensity voters. We're talking about voters that are like locked in on CNN, locked in on MSNBC, read the New York Times. They love this shit. Okay? You get turned into mincemeat when you face off with someone like Donald Trump, though, or any kind of right-wing sloppulist. The point you were trying to make, Mockler, which misses the point that they were making the choice to let 70,000 die. Very frustrating to watch. I said, I think some of you want a socialist debate pedophile. I'm not going to disagree with harm reduction as an isolated theory. It's just the truth. It's also a weapon the party wields to remain controlled opposition party. It's many of you clearly don't watch me if you think I don't believe that. So much of my convo was basically me repeating what I've said a million times on stream and expanding beyond the clip, chimp. I'm not attacking you. I just found the constant circling back by this guy to so you agree getting shot in the leg is better than getting shot in the head. Obscured the point that Democrats shouldn't be shooting anyone at all. Every time you made a point that Dems are aligned with the Republicans on private health insurance, he would say, well, would you agree 70K deaths is better than 100K, which misses the point that they're making the choice to let 70K die. Yeah, I mean, I brought that up, but, you know, it's just at a certain point, you just got to move on. Newsom is one of the few candidates that can out-debate Trump. Dude, a lot of you have to be young. You have to be young if you think that. Because Hillary Clinton literally had the gusto. She had the fucking stage presence. Now, people will get mad at me for saying this, but Hillary Clinton could out-debate Donald Trump in the same exact ways that Gavin Newsom would. Okay? And she did. And she still got her shit pushed in. Because you'll think about all the worst moments like, oh, I'm chilling in Cedar Rapids or hot sauce in my bag or all those other like all of those other like highly salient points where she looked like a robot. But on the debate stage, she fucking outperformed Donald Trump over and over again. Kamala Harris actually did a pretty decent job on the debate stage as well against Donald Trump. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. New poll, the Dem Party is finished. The Democratic Party, Lowkirk, needs to dissolve as an organization. Washington Post, ABC News, Ipsos poll. Who do you trust to do a better job at handling the country's main problems? Trump, 33%. Democrats in Congress, 31%. Neither, 31%. Oh my God, reducing the cost of living. Trump, 32%. Democrats in Congress, 31%. Neither, 33%. Immigration. Trump, 38%. Democrats in Congress, 34%. Neither, 24%. I'm losing my mind. Every day, day after day after day, these polls keep vindicating me over and over again. Democrats are not definable by characteristics. Democrats are not definable by policies. They look weak. They look feckless. This kind of like constant push to the center is making them look like they're losers, and everyone can fucking see it. Donald Trump is the least popular president of all time, basically. Like he is hitting the lowest of his lowest approval ratings, and the Democrats are still less popular. Yeah, this is kind of what I expected. Trump's decline is not moving to the Democrats, is moving to nihilism and moving away from the process. Exactly. This is fucking insanely frustrating. And then people will turn around and be like, Hasan, you're responsible for this. Okay, dude. It's just so bad. It's so fucking bad. The Democrats aren't worried enough about the perception that they're either ineffective cowards or willing collaborators with the Trump administration is true. Oh my fucking God, Hasan, the Democratic Party is functioning as intended. Stop pretending there is something broken in the Democratic Party. No, this is even as a two sides of the same fucking liberal coin. If Democrats want to preserve liberal democracy, they need to do better than this. This is just straight up like, this is straightforward concessions to fascism. Okay? A lot of people ask me like, oh, when is the time? When is the time? When is the time? You will know when the time comes. Okay? You will know when the time comes. I think from where I'm standing, if they actually destroy the court system completely, if they like took out the First Amendment, if they destroy the courts, I think that would be the time. Because right now, theoretical democracy is on shaky ground. Okay? And as a student of history, I look at different instances, especially as of late. I've been reading more about Cuba as well, and I think that the appropriate time is the appropriate time. When it comes, you will know. Like right now, the courts still have the capacity to like every now and then stop the administration. But once they tackle due process, or once they go after due process, it will be, that's when you'll know. You'll know. And we're moving in that direction. So I don't think that Democrats are going to stop that from happening. I mean, this is the results. These are the results. CBS reports that the U.S. played a role in the operation that killed cartel figure El Mencho. I mean, we'll see. That's why I said, like, America, whenever stuff like this happens, America always has a hand. Let's be real. I don't understand what polling they're looking at and going, this is wrong. Dude, I don't think these guys look at the polling at all or care about the polling at all. That's what I'm trying to say. They operate on a totally separate, they operate on totally separate interests than what you would assume they would operate on. Okay? Anyway.